Zoe DeLuca here from the sunny Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia, and welcome to my social media marketing for network marketers. Today we're handling Twitter domination. These series of videos came out of a training I did for our team members last night. It was specifically on using Twitter to grow your network marketing business. It was a feature-packed call, but it did go for a very, very long time. By the time we covered everybody's questions, we were looking at nearly a 2-hour call. I felt that that was really too much for most people to digest in one sitting. And while we can start and stop a video and come back to it, we rarely ever do that. So what I'm doing this morning is breaking down that training into bite-sized pieces, if you like. We're going to take it step by step. So let's get starting with our Twitter domination. In this module and in this series of videos, wherever it says modules here, it's the one training on Twitter. We're going to look at how to set up your profile for business use on Twitter, establishing your Twitter presence, giving you a Twitter brand, if you like, and establishing you as somebody that people actually want to interact with on Twitter. Growing your follower base so you have targeted prospects to interact with, and how to make key connections with influencers in your marketplace on Twitter, and we'll talk about why that's so important. We're also going to look at how to find valuable information to actually write your tweets about, and inspiring your followers to become your Twitter publicity officers. So we're going to look at the potential for really virally spreading your tweets through the Twitterverse and throughout the social media networks. For anyone that's had exposure to my social media shortcut course, you'll know that my primary goal in social media marketing is to get a result for my business, but I do so in a sociable way and a professional way by leading with providing value. And that is vitally important that you get that aspect down right now, regardless of what sort of social media marketing you're doing. If you're just spamming somebody with your link or shoving their business, your business down their throat rather, then you're not going to be successful and you're really going to annoy people, and you may well get very bad press from that. I'm going to position you first of all in your social media marketing before we get into the nuts and bolts of Twitter. I'm then going to take that a step further and look at how do you move the leads and the interactions that you've got occurring on Twitter into your marketing funnel. You know, if I'm saying don't go spamming your link everywhere, then how do you let people know about your business in a professional way that motivates them to want to find out more, become a lead in your business, and hopefully a member in your team? We're going to look at forming connections, joint ventures, and partnerships with other network marketers, with other professionals in your industry, and people in your interest groups to help your business bottom line. And the thing that I'm probably best known for are my shortcut tools. So I'm going to show you some tools in this series. We're going to spend a lot of time looking at the tools and the automation that I use in my business each and every day to maximize my results from my Twitter marketing in the minimum amount of time without looking like a spam robot, as I said before, and without turning people away and having a negative impact on my business return. First of all, why Twitter? Now, I started with Twitter in all of my social media marketing training. And you'll notice on this graph, and it's a comparison between the blue line is Facebook, YouTube, and the orange one is Twitter down the bottom. And you'll notice out of those, the big three that I recommend, Twitter is actually the smallest in terms of unique visitor numbers. But the growth in Twitter in the last 18 months have been absolutely phenomenal. It is something that Twitter has become part of the vernacular, if you like, of our social currency. People more and more are moving to using Twitter. Now, if you've had no experience on Twitter, Twitter is basically a micro blogging site. Really, it was, you know, what are you doing right now? But it's more what interests you right now. And people are interacting on Twitter. The great thing with Twitter is you have a 140 character limit to your messages. So it means that you need to get your message across in a short, succinct way, and people do that very rapidly. And you'll notice when you first log into the Twitter site that there are these top tweets, and they're the things that are happening right now. Now that's live, and that will scroll as this page comes up. It's a little slower because I'm recording this. Find that what's happening in Twitter right now, things that are happening in everyday life and our society. You know, the first place I found out when Michael Jackson passed away was on Twitter. The first place I found out about the aeroplane that landed in the Hudson River was on Twitter. You know, there's things happening with volcanoes and travel updates and goodness knows whatever else, because it's real people in real time sharing it with their social network. On top of that, you also have a lot of celebrities that use the site, and you have a lot of internet marketers that use the site. So the most important thing is to establish yourself, your brand, and your personality within the Twitter framework to make sure that the people that are most likely to be interested in your business, the people that you're most likely to want to have as a team member and work with in your business, are able to find you. Now, the way we do that, we'll talk about that in the future trainings, but it's really important to know the sort of person that you're looking to attract, to know the people that you want to interact with before you start any of your Twittering. It's also a place where you get a great rapport with people. I think of it as like text messaging, but on the internet. So I have complete, if you like, complete strangers that are in my market and my industry that have sent me to great resources and references. I have met with some of the people offline at what we call tweet ups. I've developed business relationships. I've had speaking opportunities and some business partnerships that have resulted in massive profits for me. But it's been done in a professional way. And by the time that you do meet somebody that you've met on Twitter, so that you developed a working relationship on Twitter, you almost feel like you know them, particularly if you're incorporating video marketing. We'll talk about a little bit later as well. Twitter users come from all over the planet. Interesting, you'll notice here the one that's quite low down in terms of this is an Alexa traffic rank in countries is China, because there are some limitations to it there. And while the vast majority of Twitter users are still found in the United States, over 40%. This is growing throughout the world. Twitter has just become the 11th most popular site in the United States on the internet. For those of you in Australia and New Zealand, we're looking around the 13th position. United Kingdom is around the same. It actually says 14 here in the United States, but it has, as of this morning, become site number 11. Of course, that fluctuates all the time. You can see it's a massively popular site. The reason that I start with my Twitter so much, though, is the fact that not only is it a highly trafficked site, but it's highly interactive, and from a marketing point of view, it's highly productive because Google actually ranks your activities on Twitter very, very highly. Now, I've just done a Google search on my name, Zoe DeLuca, spelt the correct way, and it comes up other ways. But you'll notice the very first site that comes up is zoedeluca.com. That's my personal website, and it's about a network marketing system that I have on there at the moment. But the second link is Zoe DeLuca, which is Z DeLuca, and for all of you, that is my Twitter username, ZDELUCA. Z DeLuca on Twitter is actually the second post on the page. That comes before articles here on my personal blog, videos that I've done on YouTube and other video places, articles that I've posted on article sites, other profiling. If you arrow down a bit, you'll actually find that in terms of just branding my name, MySpace and Facebook come right at the very bottom of the page, and Twitter is way up here. When you start looking at my activities on Twitter and what I'm actually tweeting, the term is about, you'll find that they are also ranking very highly on Twitter for my keyword terms, and that ranking happens extremely quickly. So it's the one thing you take away from that. There is a business purpose to what you're doing on Twitter, but Twitter is a social site, so you need to make sure that you're treating it as such. So it's the ultimate customer feedback. Conversely, if you're doing something wrong in the marketplace, then expect that to be discussed on Twitter as well, and that will come back to bite you. So the thing that I say to people is always be careful about what you're typing on Twitter. Yes, it is a social site. You should be social. You should show your personality, but don't be typing anything that you don't want the whole world to read. Stay professional, show your personality, but really watch the language and your positioning. If you're using Twitter and you're on the internet in a business sense, then every character you type can and will have a business impact in the long run for you. As I've explained, Twitter is also fantastic for building joint ventures, great for link building the search engines. I showed you number 2 on Google there. And it's also great to show the human personal side of your business. You can really create a loyal follower base, and that's what people who decide to read your tweets are called. They're called your followers. And it's also a very easy way to survey those followers. Not only can you survey your customers in terms of their experience with your business or what they would like to know about your business or how you can help them provide value, they can get that information back to you and you can respond. It becomes a virtual think tank of information, of referrals, advice, and two-way discussions. On top of all of that, and then take all of those aspects and have them go viral to the social media networks by your followers and your friends group spreading those throughout the network, and what we call retweeting, which is reposting anything that you've tweeted of value.